Just takes one bite, one big perch to turn it into a fantastic session. That's all that's left. Just gutted. Certainly good to be back out on the bankside again. It's been about 4 or 5 weeks since I've managed to get out and fish. Been a bit under the weather and a bit of car trouble, but it's all sorted now. It's mid-November and I'm here for a bit of perch fishing today. Don't really know what to expect. Although I've had perch out this session, I've never really fished purposely for the big perch, and hopefully I can find some. Whether I do or not, you can never really tell, can you? So I've had a long walk, a bit out of breath, as you can probably hear. Welcome to another Fishing Tail Films. Let's get fishing. Oh, I'm getting old. Well, I'm all settled in now. The float's out using a 3BB perch bobber. Handmade, beautifully handmade by Andy Cowdrey of Black Bottom Float. So I'm giving it its first run out today. I've gone for a yellow top version. I'll show you the others a bit later. And fishing lobworms. And like I said, I'm after the perch. I'm targeting just the perch today. Don't really know what to expect. When I've been down on this bit of the river before, I've been catching sort of perch from every trip actually on double red maggot, but only the small variety from say sort of 3 ounces up to probably just under the pound mark. Nice looking fish, and I've always wanted to come down on this section and just try and see if I could find some of the bigger perch. So I really don't know what to expect. It's a bit of the unknown. I'm sure there's some big perch in this section. There's got to be. And the only way to find out is fish for them. So perch bobbers and lobworms today. I'll be feeding maggot over the top, just sprinkling it out a bit. Now, about a month ago the river was right up unfishable, and we've not had any rain there for quite some time. The temperatures are dropping. It's mid-November, so the water's quite clear actually. And so what I'm going to be doing, I'm going to be sort of targeting fishing sort of around the margins. I've plumbed up both sides. It's a bit deeper to the right. I actually found a nice hole right sort of fairly close in, so via a bait dropper, small bait dropper, I've fed some chopped up dendrobina worms and a few maggots to make sure it sort of gets right down onto the bottom. So I put 2 on the right hand side, and I put 2 bait dropper falls on the left hand side as well, so at least I know that there's some worms directly on the bottom. There's hardly any flow. I'm fishing in a bit of a slack water as well, and perch do tend to like just fishing off the slack. There's not much flow at all, to be honest. This is a very deep swim. Out in the middle you've probably got sort of under today's conditions, I would say there's probably about 13 foot down out in the middle. It's very deep, but near to the margins obviously it slackens up a bit, so I've probably got about 4 foot to the left, and like I say, I've got at least another foot, maybe 2 in that deep hole to the right. So who knows what's going to happen today. Today's going to kick off my perch fishing there on Fishing Tail Films. As many of the regular listeners know, I do love my perch fishing, and I know many of you that watch the films do as well. So we share a love of catching these fantastic stripy creatures. They're brilliant fish, and the bigger they get, the more magnificent they are. They really are a fantastic fish with all their stripes and spiky fins and these big eyes, you know, them predator eyes and predator instincts, and I really can't wait. And later next week, me and my son-in-law Andy, we're going down to a fishery that we've never been before. We're going to stay down there on site, so I'm looking to make a real nice video of that, of all the facilities down there. They've got some big perch in their lakes, and like I say, we've never been there before, so it's a new adventure. I do like new adventures. I think all us anglers do, don't we? We like to go and fish waters for the first time in anticipation of what might be. So looking forward to that. That's going to be a great video, hopefully, and we're going to be staying on site. More about that on the next video after this one. So there's going to be lots of videos coming up very soon, especially this winter, because it's a time of year I like to get out and do a bit of fishing. On the way down this morning, it was lovely to see all the rustic colours, all the leaves, sort of that rustic brown, that ready sort of colour that they get, and sort of signs that winter's on its way now. It's like I say, mid-November, so it's sort of late autumn now, and winter's not far away, and we'll see what we're going to get this year. Hopefully we'll get more winter-like conditions, but not too over the top. Don't want too much snow, so you can't get anywhere. But we shall see. Looking forward to today, and let's see what happens. Well, while I'm waiting for the swim to settle down and hopefully some perch moving, let's take a look at the tackle that I'm going to be using today, and also the baits. Well, I've got my trusty Darrant Valley 11-foot specialist rod, which I do like to use a lot for my perch fishing, and of course my lovely Shimano Stradix, and absolutely love those reels. Had them for many years, about 12 years. Send them off every now and then to be serviced by Philindra, and they come back as good as new, so they'll carry on forever, hopefully. And got the old Corum anti-tilt rod rest, which are brilliant, and you can have the pole set at all different angles, but that being cantilevered means it's always level. So great addition to my fishing equipment. Now bait wise, loads of red maggots. All fish love the old maggots, don't they? Especially the perch and the red maggots. So I'm going to be feeding them, and every now and then tipping Nice big lobworm, like these beauties here. Nice lobworm. Sometimes I'll nip a little bit off to let the juices sort of flow out a bit. Just put a bit of scent into the water to attract the perch. And I've also, for chopping up, some dendrobina worms. And if things get a bit desperate, I might even try them on the hook as well. And I've also, I don't know if I'll use them or not, but I've also got some artificial worms as well. Slow sinking imitation worms, and they're sort of scented as well. But hopefully I won't need to use them because they'll be on the naturals. That's what I'm hoping for. Now they're the floats, the lovely floats I've got on there. I've got a yellow top on at the moment. That's by Black Bottom Floats, Andy Cowdery. And I'm sure they're going to catch me a lot of perch this winter. I've just brought a little tiny little perch drop, bait dropper I should say, which I've been putting that out, chopping all the worms and some maggots in there. A pair of scissors for a bit of chopping. Disgorger, of course, always need a disgorger just in case of any deep hooking. And then on the hook, the Drennan Specialist Barbless, and I'm using a size 8 micro barbed, and very strong hook they are. This swim can be a little bit snaggy at times, so I need something that I can pull back on and not bend the hook on, as some hooks do, some of the fine wire ones. So that's my little setup today, and just fishing sort of down the margins there to the left. And as I swing round, I've not tried it down there yet, but it's a little bit deeper down there. I'm going to give that a little, I've been feeding maggots over the top. Like I say, I put some bait dropper, a couple of bait droppers of worms and maggots down there as well, so hopefully there'll be some perch waiting for me. So I'm really looking forward to it, and fingers crossed the perch will be obliging. We shall see. Lobworm on, piece of lobworm, and I put 2 red maggots on as well for a bit of added attraction. It's a nice, simple but very effective way to fish for the perch down the edge. If there's any big perch down there, I'm sure they'll slam that lobworm. Well, I guess I've been fishing probably sort of coming up to an hour now. No signs of any bites, no signs of any fish at all topping. So I think we had a bit of a frost last night, because on the way down it was sort of showing up 3 degrees in the car. So I know the temperatures have dropped a bit, which is why the sort of colours sort of disappearing out of the water, which makes it quite clear. But I'm still hopeful that I'm going to get a bite or two. It's early days as yet, and I'm hoping, like I say, to get a nice big perch. That's the plan. But it's just great to be back out. I mean, obviously being laid up for, I don't know, 5-6 weeks, it's good to get back out fishing. It's nice to be in the fresh air, the old birds chirping away in the distance, and it's just nice, peaceful place to be. And you just can't beat fishing. It's why I love fishing. It's just the relaxation side of it. You chill out, whether you're on your own or with with your mates and that. It's just nice to be out fishing away in the hope of catching that special fish that really seals the deal. And that's the plan. You never know. It may happen today. But as many of you know, I've sort of set myself a bit of a target to try and reach 2,000 subscribers by the end of this year, and I'm getting really close. So I'm really excited about that. I think I need another 40 odd to reach the 2,000 subscribers mark. So if you're watching this for the first time and you like the videos, there's well over 100 videos on the channel for you to explore if you want to. But if you could give the channel a subscribe, it's free. You just need an email address, and give a nice little like to the videos, comment as well, because when YouTube see all that interaction, they start pushing the videos out there more. So I know a lot of people just watch and enjoy it, but if you do, give it a like, because it really does help to push the channel out there, push the videos out there. And I just want to sort of come across how fishing is to so many people, the relaxation side. A lot of people sort of talk about the mental health side of it as well, and being out in the countryside, I do, whether it's just fishing or even just walking, it's great for the mental health, and it just gives you that good feeling, and that's what this sort of channel's all about, just showing a passion I have for this wonderful sport, this leisure time activity. I've fished all my life, to be honest, and a lot of it was match fishing, but now the last sort of 10-12 years it's just chilling out, targeting certain species, which is what I love to do. Still got that bit of a competitive edge, I want to catch every time I go fishing, but I know through experience it's not always the case. If the conditions are against you, then you can't force the fish to feed. It's as simple as that. You can do all the right things, be in the right place, but if they don't want to feed sometimes, they don't. Hopefully that won't be the case today. But anyway, thanks for those that have subscribed to the channel, because it really does mean an awful lot, and I've had some wonderful comments as well over the past year or two, which is great, and that really does boost me to come out and make more fishing videos. Like I say, winter is a favourite time of mine, and I love coming out on these cold days. Even the old frosty days are just lovely to be by the water's edge, whether that be on a river or by a lake. So thanks for all those that have been supporting, and if you're watching this video for the first time and sort of new to the channel, please subscribe and see if I can get that 2,000 subscription mark. I'm, like I say, 40 odd away from it now, and it's great. It'll be a real buzz if I can sort of achieve that target. and thanks very much for your support. I've always had a fascination with the perch, because the perch was the first fish that I ever caught when I was a very young boy. I think I was 2 years old at the time. It was a little tiny perch like that, and it was caught on a little tiny quill float that I still have. So that's over 60 years old now. And obviously my dad took me fishing, taught me how to fish, and as I got older, 3, 4, 5 years old, and I started to understand a little bit more about fishing, because we used to go regular almost every week, every other week, and he used to say to me, that's the first float that you caught your first ever fish on. And so I've always had an attraction to it, because the memories are deep, and I always never used it again. I put it in my float box, and it's still safely tucked away in there, because it holds a lot of memories of fishing with my dad, and also the fact that it was the first float that ever caught me a fish, that sent me on this journey over the years of sharing this fantastic sport. And we had lots of good days, me and my dad, fishing, and he used to enjoy his roach fishing. His favourite fish was the roach, and so they hold a place in my heart, the roach as well, because I know that he loved his roach fishing. And yeah, I've still got that little float, that little quill float. The paint's almost come off of it now, but I'll never use it again. I'll be distraught if I lost it. And so yeah, there you go. Just you hang on to these memories. A little float like that, an innocent looking float, can hold so many memories, and I'm sure lots of people that are watching this can associate items of their tackle that sort of like similar stories to what I've just said about the memories it holds, catching me first fish, memories of me dad when he used to take me fishing, and I'm sure you've got lots of happy memories like that as well. It would be nice to catch a perch today actually, and make some more memories. You never know. Well, I've just found the biggest lobworm I've got in my maggot box, and it's a bit of a snake, so I've just put that on, nipped the end off to get a little bit of scent juice going, and I've just plonked it, gone a bit deeper, and plonked it in that deep hole to the right of the swim. And you can probably see my float just around where I've just threw those maggots, and the float's just sitting there. There's no flow, it's like a slack bit of water, and if there's any perch around, I'm sure that'd be a place that they would hide up in. Still not seen any signs of fish moving or fry being scattered. It's all very quiet, I must admit, very quiet, but peaceful. Just takes one bite, one big perch, to turn it into a fantastic session. That's all it takes. Well, being as I'm still waiting for my first bite on the float, I thought I'd cover my options, and I've set up another rod, and I'm going to, with a little maggot feeder on, and I'm going to cast out, search the swim a little bit, fish down the middle in the deeper water to see if there's any perch lurking about. Now I've set up it's the Corum all-rounder rod, 11 foot. I've got a 1 ounce tip in here, so it's the lightest tip out of the three. You get 1 ounce, 2 ounce and 3 ounce. Got a little switch reel loaded with the Corum reflow 6 pound feeder line, which sinks really fast. It's a lovely supple line, green tint in colour, which is fantastic. And I've got just set up the Drennan run ring system, and so that'll slide free running. I've got a little tiny Drennan feeder bomb on there as well, so I'm going to put a few maggots in there so I'll be able to introduce a bit of feed in this swim. And I've got a 3.3 Drennan Supplex fluorocarbon line with a Guru size 14 NWGB hook on there, microbarb. And I'm going to put red maggot. I'll have a little bit of dendrobina worm on there as well, and let's see what happens, because it's given me another option. I'm fishing me float in the margins, trying left and right, and I thought while the action's slow, I'll give myself another option. It's always good to have options. Right, let's get it out. Trying, but I'm still waiting for my first bite. I've got float rod down with a big lobworm on in the hole down there. No signs of anything. I've got me little tip rod out now. I had one little tap and then a pull round. I reeled in nothing. No sort of suck maggot or anything like that. So it's rock hard at the minute. I must say that this season, this stretch of the river has beaten me up a few times. I've had to work so hard to catch some fish, and today looks like it's going to be probably the same again. It's a strange one, it really is. No, I've not even seen any fish top at all, which is strange because you normally see something moving about. I'm not giving up just yet. Where I think the perch should be on fishing, the baits are in place, still regularly topping it up with a few maggots and a few worms through the bait dropper. But as yet nothing to report anyway. Well, I've just had a bite out of the blue on the tip rod. I'm into a really nice fish here. I don't know what it is yet. It's putting, oh no, it's come off. Oh, don't believe it. That's all that's left. Just oh dear, gutted. Well, I'm totally gutted, I'll tell you. You're putting all that effort. And I picked up my float rod and I'd shallowed up and I was like just running the float right down the margins to see if I could, you know, tempt something. Maybe the perch is right up on the ledge. And then the corner of my eye, I've seen me tip rod slide. It nearly went in. It nearly got pulled in. And luckily the reel hooked got trapped on the rod rest, so I managed to grab it quick and it boom, it was lunging away, and felt real. It was a good fish, obviously, because I mean it would have pulled me rod in if it weren't for the rod rest. That happened so quick, and I'm only just fishing down. I'm not fishing a long way out. I'm just in a little hole down there, in probably about 10 foot of water. And it was thumping away. Could it have been a big perch? Possibly. Could have been a chub. But it wasn't doing a lot. It was just bump, 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 thumping away. And that was on double red maggot. And I managed to get the camera on. Just swung it round so you could see, hopefully, me netting the fish. And just pulled out of it, and there was just a little bit of maggot left at the top of the hook. You know, a fish like that would have made the video. I mean, you know, hopefully I might get another go. But when you fish, probably fishing what 3-4 hours now, no sign of a bite, and then that happens while you're messing around with your other rod. I mean, it could have been worse. I could have lost a lot. I wouldn't have been pleased at all. Oh, that's fishing for you, isn't it? That's what makes you come back. And I was just sitting there thinking, you know, this river owes me one, really. I've put a lot of effort into this section of the river, and I think that was my opportunity. Not happy. Well, my next cast out plonked straight back in the same spot, and this time I had a little tiny bite, little dink dink dink, and then lifted up into it, shut off. Didn't feel as big as what I've just lost, but this time I've netted it. It's not a perch. And it might have been possibly the same species that I've just lost earlier. But it's a chub on double red maggot, tiny bite. And I'm happy with that, I must admit. Because if that was going to be my only bite, that lost fish, I was going to be distraught, I tell you. But it's not huge. But what a beautiful fish. Hold it up for the camera there. There you go. Double red maggot. Mr. Chub. There might be a few others down there. I'm literally just underarm casting it right down in front of me. Just pop the hook out and let him go. Well, that's brightened up my morning. I was feeling a bit sorry for myself. And then this come along, but that other fish felt a much bigger fish, I must admit. It's all welcome all the same. You never know, there might be some more down there. Might turn into a chub session now. Lovely. Well, that chub that I just caught come at midday, so it just goes to show that, you know, bites has just come along at any time, and not on the lobworms or dendras that I was probably expecting to get bites on today. Just two big fat juicy red maggots accounted for that chub, and also the bite before that, where that was a much bigger fish because it felt a lot more powerful. And it just goes to show the ups and downs in just, what, less than 10 minutes of fishing. The despair of losing a big fish when it's your first bite of the day, and then followed by the sheer elation of getting another bite not long after. And it was a really finicky bite. I was just sitting there, I actually thought it was going to be a gudgeon, I must admit, because I had tiny little taps, done that, and then it just sort of moved slowly, and I sort of lifted into it expecting, you know, a gudgeon, possibly a small roach, and also the rod bent over and it powered off to the right, and didn't put up an almighty scrap compared to the other one where it was holding bottom, and because I'm probably fishing in about 10-11 foot down, where I'm just sort of underarm casting because it just drops away, and there's obviously some chub have moved in and they're just sitting there picking up probably the loose maggots from me maggot feeder, and picked up me hook bait. So I'm over the moon to get that, you know, because I was starting to feel like maybe it's going to be a blank. I know I'm here for the perch, and I'm still trying for the perch. My float's there in the left hand side, but it just shows you, you know, just keep going, keep trying. And it was plan B of setting up a second rod, different method, and that's provided me with a fish, not the target species, but a chub all the same. I mean, I've come down here to target the chub and come away with small perch and roach and stuff like that. So it just goes to show that anything can come along, as long as you've got a bait in the water. So I'm over the moon with that. At least I got something decent to show the camera. I did weigh it. It was £2.10, because I thought, well, that feels a chunky fish. I took a quick photo of it. Thought, well, I've got the net out and the scales, so I just popped it on the scales. It was £2.10, so it was quite a chunky fish. And God knows how big that other one was, because like I say, I nearly lost the rod. I plonked it back in the same spot to see if there's another one down there. You never know. Fingers crossed. Well, sadly, it looks like the perch are not going to play ball today. But that's the way it goes sometimes. You win some, you lose some. But at least I've had a bit of action. First fish I lost, I was really gutted about, because that was a real good fish. I think it was a big old chub. But at least I was fortunate enough to get a second chance a few minutes or the next cast later with a delicate little bite that I thought was a gudgeon. Turned out to be a nice chub just under the £3 mark. So that's cheered me up. It's made my trip worthwhile. And although, like I say, I've not had a perch, I know I'm going to put that right, because in a few days' time I'm off with Andy on a 2-night, 3-day trip. We're staying on site, a fishery I've never been to before. Looking forward to that. Going to be lots of filming going on, and hopefully we'll make a nice video out of that. So stay tuned to the channel. and if you could give the video a like, it'd be much appreciated. And if you haven't already subscribed, please do. I'm chasing that 2,000 subscribers mark by the end of this year. I'm getting so close now, 40 odd to go. Thanks very much for all your support. It really does mean a lot. And I'll see you again on the Bankside very soon for another Fishing Tale Films. Good luck with your next trip, and carry on catching. I'll see you soon.